Today, we're just going to talk a little bit about um, this crash course
Mm,
in young adulthood. And we're just going to talk today about feeling our feelings, a little bit about anxiety,
mhm,
and how we deal with that during that time of our life, that transition from coming out of high school and out of all of those experiences and moving into young adulthood. Um, and so just wanted to get you on to share your heart and
mm,
share your
mhm.
um, expertise as well about this topic. And so we'll just dive right in, and wanted to just go ahead and talk about the biggest struggle you run into when talking to people about their feelings and about how they feel.
Mm. One of the biggest struggles, Brett, that we come into initially is the person is so fearful of being judged.
Mm,
And because they're so fearful of being judged, they don't want to open up. So when you think about young people, um, high school age, college age, coming out of that, it's very difficult sometimes to get them to a place where they will even come in.
mm,
And so, and when I talk about coming in, let's talk about as a therapist coming into the office,
right.
or having a virtual call, or, just coming into counseling, period. And so once you get to a place where you can work with them to pass that fear
Mm,
and they get into your presence,
yeah.
I feel like the job at that point then is to help them know that they're in a safe place
Yeah.
because no one wants to be judged.
Mhm.
And so, and when you think about being a Christian and then you're coming in to see someone and you're just not sure what will they think about you, what will they say about you.
Yeah.
And so you have to get past that fear of not being judged. One of the most important things for me is to make sure that when I sit with someone, regardless of where it is, in the office or just in a chair or just wherever, is to make sure they know they're in a safe place.
Yeah.
Because when you're in a safe place, it's easier for you to begin releasing those big feelings.
Right. Yeah. And I think you hit on something so big with just getting over that initial fear or
Mm-hmm.
the stigma,
The
I
stigma.
guess,
Mm-hmm.
of
Beautiful word.
releasing those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times too, as a man,
Mm-hmm.
you feel the pressure of having to have it all together.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and as a Christian as well, you feel like, oh man, I got to keep all of this together.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
can't struggle with something, because
Yes.
people can't see me, because I'll feel like a failure or
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not representing Christ.
Absolutely. Uh, One of the things that you said, a couple things that you said, is number one, the stigma. I'm going to go broad for a moment.
Hmm.
The stigma of mental health in the first
Right.
place. So, another fear is I'm not going to see someone, I'm not going to talk to someone because I don't want anyone to think I'm crazy. And so I will keep it in
Yeah.
before I will go and share. One of the other things you mentioned, and the word that came up for me when you said it was mask. So we wear masks.
Yes.
And in the Christian community, and I'll speak to both if that's okay.
Sure.
So in the Christian community, we are more apt to wear a mask because what would people think if they knew who Nisi really was
Right.
at the core of her being?
Yeah.
She can come on Sunday and have it all together. because that's just a period of time.
Yeah.
But what about Monday through Saturday
Yeah.
when her life is like this or her life is like that or so on? So we wear masks for fear again. And I'm using that word quite a bit. And as we talk about anxiety, that will come center place.
Mm-hmm.
But for the fear of what will they think about me if I really tell them who I am or even where I've been.
Yeah.
One of the things that blessed me so much in our recent baptism was the vulnerability
Yeah.
of the young people
Yes.
who said, this has been my life.
Yeah.
This is where I've been. This is what happened to me as a little girl. This is where I've been even just recently. The vulnerability. Because when you allow yourself to get to that place, that's the deep place.
Yes.
When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, even just with one other person, then you're opening up the space
Yep.
for the healing to take place.
Excuse me. That has been that's been a word that has been touched on a lot in just talking with people here on these couches is vulnerability.
Oh gosh.
And
yes.
I think that's part of the fear too, right? When you come in, I'm going to have to be vulnerable in front of somebody, and you're going to have to be if you're going to get any help, because if you go in there and you're not honest and you're not open and willing to just lay it all out there,
Right.
you can't get to the root of what is going on. So,
Right.
what kind of encouragement or what would you say to somebody who is like, I can't come in, I can't show this side, or how can we encourage them to walk through that door or to say, hey, I need somebody.
I need somebody. One of the things that I believe has to happen, so a couple things,
Sure.
is one, we must prove ourselves trustworthy. That's so critical.
Yeah. That's good.
With young people, we could even go maybe the older ages of elementary to middle, and I know you're talking high school and beyond, but even at those young ages, if we tell a little secret and somebody goes and shares that secret, we have a tendency to say, which becomes an inner vow, I will never tell anybody anything again.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that has happened. So we think about somebody being trustworthy. They have to be trustworthy for me to share my heart.
Right.
You're not going to get my heart unless I know I can trust you.
Yes.
And so one is we have to make sure they have or they're given trustworthy people. So that's one piece. But the other piece is that, as much as I hate to say this, it's the truth, is that sometimes you just have to get to the place, Brett, where you are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Right.
And then, I can't do anymore. My life is a mess. I'm anxious like crazy. So you get to a place where you're just tired.
Yeah.
And we'll go back again. I want to use the language of mental health, if that's okay. Because so much encompasses that. Mental health will wear you down if you don't take care of it. What I mean by that, I was thinking about this earlier, is that if you think about us in relation to a vehicle, and when I say us, I mean people, in relation to a vehicle has 4 tires, unless it's a motorcycle or something like that. So you have 4 tires. If one of those tires goes flat, it hinders the flow and the ride of the vehicle.
Yeah.
And so then what has to happen is the other 3 have to make up for the one until the one can be taken care of. As a person, we are made up of spirit. We are made up of soul. We are made up of our physical being. And I like to add psychological to that as well. But if one piece of that is off, so if my life is full of anxiety, then it wears on the spirit man and the physical man. And it just does not allow them to be all that they were intended to be. And so sometimes people have to get to a place, back to your question, they have to get back to a place where they recognize that if they don't get help and they don't reach out, they're just going to continue, for lack of a better word, drowning
Yeah.
in all that is going on.
Yeah. And and a lot of times that's where people end up. And,
Yes.
you hate to see when you have somebody that's here and they could go here, but they have to go all the way down until
Yeah.
to rise back up. And
Yes,
that can be really hard.
it can.
And what I would hope to see, and with somebody seeing this and going through this material, is how to not have to go all the way down,
Yeah. Yes.
to
Yes.
go up and get where you need to be. So
Absolutely. Let me mention this to you real quick because I want to make sure I answered you fully. When people share with me just as a person, not as the therapist,
right.
that they're not in a good place, I encourage them to go and speak to somebody, whether it be a therapist, whether it be their pastor, or whether it be somebody they trust. But if you can get them to a place, and typically I will say to somebody, come sit on my couch one time or have one conversation with me. That's all I'm asking you to do. Because I know if they will ever do that, then they will be okay to continue coming back to get the help that they need so that they can excel up and not take a deep dive.
Right.
So it's really getting them to a place of you saying, your leader saying, why don't you just sit with this person for a little while? Just try it one time. That's what our pastor says.
Yeah.
Pastor
Yeah.
says try 5.
Try 5.
Try
Yeah.
5. We're not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
I'm not everyone's cup of tea. But I want you to be okay. So let's at least try. And if it doesn't work, then let me get you to somebody.
Yeah.
So oftentimes sharing with people that you care about them and that you see that something's just not up to par.
Yeah.
Let me refer you to somebody. Let me do this. Let me do that.
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll go.
I think, I know for me, it was thinking, well, is what I'm doing working for me now? Can it,
Right.
like what I'm doing isn't working.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
in some of the slumps and some of the lower times.
Yeah.
And for me, there was always, it was crazy because I went to school. My initial 4 years of school was all geared to, I was going to go into marriage and family therapy.
Yes.
And
It's still time. There's still time. Just letting you know.
well, it's, from, I was, it was really hard for me to think, well, this is what I was going to do. I was going to, counsel people. And then, I was a pastor for a little while and, to think, well, I mean, I should be able to help myself. I should be able to help myself. I know all of the stuff that people would say. Another person is so vital.
They're critical because what I say, Brett, is like if we talk about you, we talk about me, we're too close to it. And oftentimes, I'm very visual. So oftentimes I will say to people, if I were to try to help myself, it's just like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's too close. So there's not clear vision.
Yeah.
But when you bring somebody who's trusted into your journey, then they're out here and they can see much clearer.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, one of the things I say is every good therapist has a therapist. And I do.
Mm-hmm.
And, I trust this person. I go to this person because this person is out here
Mm-hmm.
when I'm just like that. Because I might want to say, gosh, I'm a therapist. I should have it together. I'm a this. I should have it together. But we all walk a journey.
Yeah. We do. We do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are in your friend group and
Mm-hmm.
you're the friend that is the Christian,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe you're all Christian and you have always had stuff together and you've always had your life together, and then to have to say, you know what, I really don't. How many people are in that position? Like, I think all of us are.
Yes.
We're all like this, just like you said.
Yes.
To have somebody else
Yeah.
take a 100-foot view or a 100-yard view and
Yes.
say, here, look at what's around you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's invaluable, and
Yes.
getting over that first step is hard though.
It's the first step.
Yeah.
But it's harder to stay where you are.
Oh yeah.
It may not seem like it, but if you think again, of something I mentioned earlier about the vehicle and then apply it to our lives, is the more that we stay, I'm going to use the word stuff, whatever the stuff is,
Mm-hmm.
the longer we stay in our stuff, the less effective we become.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about who we are, we're spouses, we're parents, we're adult children, we're students, we're workers, whatever we do,
Yeah.
then the longer we stay in our stuff, then the less effective we can be. And we will work even harder to be effective. And that's going to wear us out versus just taking that step. Because when you think about faith, faith is a step. I can't sit on this couch and not take a step and get to that place over there.
Yeah.
So faith is a step, and it's just taking that step. And if it does not work, because I believe that within the first 10 to 15 minutes, when you sit with a counselor, pastor, or whomever, within the first 10 to 15 minutes, you know whether you're going to be able to connect with them. And if you cannot connect with them, then you go get somebody else.
Right.
Because the ultimate goal is healing.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you are important and you are worth it. And what you have to offer is worth it.
Yes.
And when you stay in that and you have this stuff and you're not being effective to what the Lord has called you to do, whatever that is,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
you are not reaching the potential and using the giftings that have been put inside you.
That's it.
And, I just want anybody that is listening to this to get that picture of what it could be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to work so hard, like you said, to get to the effectiveness of where you're supposed to be.
Right.
So,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and I think we've kind of gone over a few things here. Really, really good. How do we find the safe people in our life to talk to?
Most of, and I'm going to speak for me if that's okay for right now.
Yes.
Most of the people, Brett, that come to me by word of mouth. Like, I meant just even the other day, a young lady called me and said, you were referred by my friend, and my friend trusts you, and therefore I will trust you.
Wow.
And so I think one is word of mouth. So when you have been in the presence of someone that you know you can trust, then you can say to this student, to this college person, this whomever, is that, hey, I wanna connect you
Yeah.
with so and so because I believe that they will be a great support for you.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of times that will come from experiences of other people. And then I think also being in the presence of people, meaning if you are, so we could talk church for a
Yeah.
moment. So if you're in church and you're around the people of the church and you're watching them, I'm a watcher of people.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. My oldest son can't stand it, but I love it. And so I just watch people and I pay attention to them and I pay attention to how they move and what they do. And that speaks volumes to me. But when you're around people for a period of time, you come to know who you can trust and who you cannot. And I think that it's important to, what I'm going to call, start off small. Okay. So it might be something really, really small that I might go and share with this person. Kind of like a testing, if you will. That kind of sounds kind of bad, but it really is the truth.
Yeah.
And so you are just seeing what they will do with it.
Right.
And then that helps you to know who you can go to. But I like to watch people.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because before you started talking about, you know, being in the church setting, excuse me, the word that was coming to my mind was community and not
Yes.
isolating yourself. And
Yes.
it's hard to find people when you're by yourself.
It is. It is. But one of the things people say is, I don't want community because of where I've been. And so if community hurts us, then we don't want to have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
But I think the key there is to realize, one, is that not everyone is the same. Not everybody is going to hurt you.
Right.
You know, this person may have, but it doesn't mean these five will.
Yeah.
And so helping them to find community that will wrap their arms around them and love on them.
Right.
Versus maybe something different.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good. And when you've been hurt, it's really hard
It's very hard.
to feel like you can trust again or to even want to
Yes.
trust again.
Yes. Recently, if I can share this with
absolutely.
you, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so ago, I had shared something with someone, and I will share on a surface level, but I don't go deep with many people, and there's a huge difference. And so I had shared something with someone, and because I trusted that person, and that person broke my trust, and it hurt me deeply because I trusted them. And I think a couple things happened. Is one, it reminded me that, Nisa, you have to be careful. Two, it reminded me that not everyone was in Jesus's inner circle.
Yep.
And so I had to be reminded too, is that not everybody can be right in that place. But it was painful, Brett, because I trusted that person. And I felt like, you know, we talked about that. You know, I felt like I had watched and it hurt very deeply. Yeah. And I had to get to a place where I forgave that person. But I also recognized that, that's not a person I will share with.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's through hurt and pain that we have to
Yes.
we have to learn these lessons. But it doesn't mean that because this person did this that you will do that to me.
Right.
or that this person will do that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that's really good. And that's the inner circle has come up a lot as well.
yeah.
You know, just and I think this is something that deals with the overarching thing, and one of the topics that we're going to talk about is friendship. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, part of that is who's in your inner circle and who can you trust.
Yes.
And so one of the things that I had to learn coming out of high school was friends are different than acquaintances.
Absolutely.
And I was considering everybody that I knew and grew up with from the time I was in, you know, daycare, kindergarten. I would call, that's my friend, that's my friend,
Yes.
you know, and that's really dangerous because understanding the difference between a friend and acquaintance, you start to whittle down
Mm-hmm.
who those precious few people are
Yes.
in your life that you can really trust and really share
Mm-hmm.
with. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times it's through a hard lesson that
Mm-hmm.
is, like you said, very
Yes.
painful.
Very. Yeah. Because when you feel like you can trust them, and then that trust is broken,
Hmm.
but it's also a good lesson.
It is,
Yeah.
no matter how hard.
No
And
matter
you
how
know,
hard.
you never wish it on anybody,
No,
really,
you don't.
because it's so hard to recover from.
It is. But it's
And
necessary.
yes,
It's necessary.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
you know, in talking about feelings, you know, you have in your professional life gone through um, many conversations and
Mm.
many feelings.
Yes.
What does it look like, even for you, when you might have held feelings in? Like, how does that come out other ways?
Mm-hmm.
And what have you seen? You know, just some maybe I hate to call it trends, but regular things where you see people bottling up their feelings
Mm-hmm.
and how that tends to come out. Maybe some signs that can be looked for to say,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that was me, but maybe it is.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to that at all?
Oh, I would love to. I can't give you a time frame, but many years ago, out of what I'm going to call a very, very, very deep sleep, I woke up, Brett, and I thought I was dying.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to Roger, I said, Roger, I need you to get up. You have got to get up with me and you've got to talk to me because I feel like I'm dying.
Oh, wow.
And I literally felt like I was dying.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, talk to me, pray over me, make sure I'm okay because I'm dying. And I felt that and I believe that with all that I am. That started a journey of anxiety. And what I did not know at that time was that I was carrying a level of stress in my body that was beginning to, for a lack of a better word, wreak havoc on every part of me. And so we ended up in the emergency room because I thought I was leaving this earth
That night.
that night. That was one, might be a good thing that Roger's not here because he would probably say, yes, we did. Brett, that was one of many visits.
Wow.
And I'm sharing this with you for purposes as we talk about some of those big feelings. That was one of many visits to the emergency room. Because I would go from, we could be sitting here talking, to my heart was racing and felt like it was coming out of my chest, to my blood pressure shooting up. And I was young at that time. I was probably mid-30s. blood pressure going crazy, heart racing, feeling like I was dying. I remember ending up in the emergency room one time and they were giving me nitroglycerin
Wow.
because my blood pressure had shot up like crazy.
Wow.
So what ended up happening is they began doing test upon test upon test. My heart was great. Everything about me was great. And they looked at me and they said, Anicia, you are dealing with anxiety. And the anxiety had started shifting into what we call panic disorder. And so it was a culmination of stress because I was in a place where I didn't know the future of my job. So pre-therapy, I worked for the state of North Carolina. And so we didn't know the state of my job. It was in limbo. There was just a lot of different things going on. And it was creating stress in my body. But I didn't know that. I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And so then the more it was creating the stress, then it was beginning, what I talked to you about a little while ago was that whole vehicle, but the body.
Yeah.
So it was beginning to wear on my mental health. And it was beginning to wear on my physical health, and it was beginning to wear on my emotional health. And so that started a journey of anxiety. And I had to learn what was happening in my body. I had to pay closer attention to my body to know what was happening. So when you talked about signs, one of the things I say to people, if I had to say to you what I believe the greatest, let me think of the word I want to use. What is the greatest issue among our people today from a mental health standpoint?
Right.
It's anxiety. Anxiety is through the roof across the lifespan. We got babies that are anxious to people that are grandparents, to great grandparents, and so on, that are anxious. So anxiety would probably be the greatest, I'm going to say, mental health issue right now. So I had to start really paying closer attention to my body. So I would tell people that. Let's talk about, one, what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
Let's talk about stressors. Let's talk about what life looks like. Let's talk about a plate. Because again, I'm very visual. So I believe if I can help people see it, it makes more sense. So what is on your plate? What's going on in your home? What's going on at work, and so on and so on. And then begin paying close attention to your body. Well, what I recognized is that I could be sitting here talking to you and my hands start getting a little sweaty. Maybe just a little bit of tingling. Maybe what I'm noticing is that my heart rate is beginning to pick up a little bit more. Maybe my breathing is beginning to change some. Maybe the thoughts that I'm having are just all over the place. So you begin paying attention to your body. You begin paying attention internally, externally. And the thing about anxiety is that anxiety is not a bad thing, because anxiety can also be a predictor of other things. So if you'll pay attention to your body's going to tell you what's happening and what's going on. So if I'm beginning to get anxious, then something's happening, whether it's happening in my mind or whether it's literally happening in my body, or I'm being prepared for something. Your body will let you know. And so anxiety is not a bad thing. It is a sign, if you will, to pay attention to what's going on. but you got to pay attention to what's happening with you.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention to what's going on in your mind and your body and so on to be able to do something about it.
Or it's
So-
going to escalate, and that's where you're going to get.
Oh, that's where
the-
you're going to end up in
to-
emergency
Yeah,
room.
right.
Yes. Yes, it will escalate. Because if you don't pay attention to it, things are going to begin changing. And sometimes not for the good.
Yeah.
And so I would say to people, anxiety has symptoms, has predictors, it has things just to pay attention to. And if we will pay attention to our body, then we will see that something's happening.
Yeah.
Because what I want for people, which is what I had to do, and we'll talk big feelings as well, is that anxiety began mastering Nisi. And Nisi had to learn how to master it.
Yeah.
And so that's for any feeling and any emotion. Feelings aren't bad. Emotions aren't bad.
Right.
But when we allow them to master our lives instead of us mastering them, that's when they become bad. Yeah. So I had to walk a journey, go through a journey where I, with several things, is I learned some coping mechanisms that are absolutely beautiful, and they help me. And so I love teaching them to other people. And we do them, and we know them, but we don't necessarily say, oh, I'm doing this for anxiety. So coping mechanisms, journaling was beautiful. Prayer is so amazing. The Word of God was amazing. I think one of the biggest things for me, too, was not to be ashamed of where I was.
Yeah.
Like, I have anxiety.
Yeah.
That's not who I am.
Right.
It's just what happened to me. And then as I went into panic and panic disorder, then, and that's a whole different ballgame and a whole different story for another day, but then something happens in the brain. And so I had to learn to begin taking care of me.
Yeah.
So that I could control the anxiety instead of the anxiety controlling me. That's the same with depression. That's the same. There are some, and we won't talk diagnoses, but just real quick, there are some things that have to be controlled differently, right? But there are things like anxiety. There are things like depression. Things like that, we can get to a place where we can control it, those things, versus them controlling us. And part of it is what you said. You used a beautiful word earlier when you said, Nisi, it's getting to the root. It's getting to the root. It's getting to why is this happening? What is going on? And it's getting to a place of saying, this is where I'm at, but this is not who I am.
Right.
I am not anxiety.
Yes.
I am not depression. I am not grief.
Yeah.
I am not these things. Am I grieving? Absolutely.
Right.
Can I get anxious? Absolutely. Can I get sad? Absolutely. But that's not who Nisi is.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I try to say to people, and I want them to understand it, feelings are okay. Emotions are okay. If we go biblical for a second,
Absolutely.
we can go from Genesis to Revelation. And there's so many feelings, and there's so many emotions, and it's all what people are experiencing today. Brett, it's not bad.
No.
And if I could shout from the mountaintops, one of the things I would shout and people would listen to me is that feelings and emotions aren't bad. So can we please quit telling people that?
Yeah.
Because if I say to you, Brett, give me a break, anxious, get over it, right? Then what do? You shut down, you walk in shame,
Yes.
and I have just done more damage to you than not. And so you will never come talk to Nisi because Nisi's not a safe place because she's already told me what I'm feeling and what I'm experiencing, which I know is real. It's not.
Yep.
And so I would say to people, feelings and emotions are big and they're beautiful. Let's talk about how we can be in charge of them instead of them being in charge of us.
That's good.
Because I can, and I'm not an angry person. That's just never been my thing. But let's say for an example that I was, then I could let that anger get the best of me and cause me to behave, to think, to act, talk in such a manner that would hurt other people, harm other people, and it's certainly not going to bring glory to God.
Absolutely.
But what happens when I am feeling angry? But you say to me, you're not supposed to be angry, Nisi.
Yeah.
Anger is this, anger is that. But we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been, what I like to say, fine-tuned by the Father.
Yes.
With all of our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things I say to people, and I'm going to use this, I did bring this to drink, but I told you I was visual. I say to people, always with the water bottle, I can drink from this bottle all day long as I'm releasing water. Mm. But once I ever stop releasing water, then this is not going to take any more water.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is when I try to put water in it, it's going to begin overflowing.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as I'm releasing, I can put more water in. And then I can release, and I can put more in. Mm-hmm. And so I liken that to feelings and emotions because this represents the person. And when the feelings and the emotions come, if I will release them, how? Through talking to that trusted person.
Yeah.
By going and saying, hey, Bright, you got a minute?
Mm-hmm.
And I just begin sharing with you. And as I begin sharing with you, what's really happening is I'm releasing those feelings and those emotions. And when I get them out of me, then I can begin working through them.
Yeah.
But remember earlier when we talked about too close? So as long as they're inside of me,
Mm-hmm.
I can't do much with them.
Yeah.
And so then what happens is I begin releasing. Then when that next emotion comes, I have a place for it to be for a moment until I can release it. So what ends up happening to people is if they don't release, then it's going to build up and build up and build up and build up. And then all it's going to take is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, we'll use the children for a moment, is they are full.
Yeah.
Like they've had a tough day, at school, they've got this, they've got that, and they are full.
Mm-hmm.
They've not been releasing.
Yeah.
And then dad comes home and dad says, Connor, do this, do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is, you've heard that saying, the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah.
Because every one of those emotions are now coming forth.
Yeah.
And I liken it to a volcano because volcanoes spew.
Yeah.
And so then what happens is the person begins spewing all over everyone.
Yeah.
Not because you really said anything painful, hurtful, anything like that, but because I was so full of everything.
Yeah.
So what I say to people, you have got to begin releasing.
Yeah.
And we can release in a lot of different ways. We can release through journaling.
Yeah.
Because the key of the release, Brett, is to get it out of you. Because when you get it out of you, then there's more room.
Right.
And so you can release through journaling, you can release through praying, you can release through talking to a friend, you can release in therapy, you can release in talking with your pastor, you can release in talking to whoever your person is.
Yeah.
But you want always wise counsel. That's the
Yes.
most important. I don't want somebody to tell me to go and blow my husband out of the water because I'm angry with him.
Yeah.
I want somebody to tell me what is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Because if I'm full with all these emotions, I'm not thinking clearly. And the thoughts are not clear.
Yeah.
And so wise counsel
Yeah.
is so critical. And not everybody's wise
No.
counsel. Not
No.
everybody is. And so knowing that big feelings, I believe, are awesome. But you have to keep them in check.
Yeah.
And you have to master them, manage them, and not allow them to manage you. And part of what happens to us, again, across the lifespan, because it's not just kids, adults do the same thing, senior adults do the same thing, is they will allow themselves to become so consumed with those emotions that they just act and behave in ways they should not.
Yeah.
And typically it's on people that they love the most.
Oh yeah. They're the easiest ones because they're right there,
Yes.
right there. And
Yes.
you know, I'm going to give you a couple more things here
Okay.
dealing with what you just talked about, because if I don't, I'll forget them. But so one of the huge words that you used a few minutes ago, when we feel like we have to keep everything in,
Yes.
and people are telling, society will tell you, especially like not even just men, but I know I hear it, men don't cry, and you can't have any feelings. But I mean, that's universal. People, you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to let people see because it shows weakness or whatever.
Yes.
And then you keep it in, and you
Yes.
have shame.
Yes.
And shame is at the root. And I can't take credit for that word. My wife all the time is talking about what's the root of this, what's the root of this.
Yes.
All
I love it.
all the inner healing.
I love it. Yeah.
So it's just been which has been so great for my family. But shame is at the root of so much of it. And so one, can you talk about that? And then as an aside, finding somebody to talk to, not wanting to be a burden is one of the barriers. You don't want to pour it onto somebody else and you can feel like a burden. So I know those are two different things, but I just thought that
Yes.
maybe you would have some really insightful, good things to share as far as those topics.
So one of the things that I would say about being a burden or not wanting to be a burden is that it goes back to that step again. At some point in time, you have to take a step because this is not serving you well. It's affecting every part of you. And so give the person the opportunity to decide whether or not you're a burden.
Yeah.
So don't take it upon yourself, which could also be, I'm going to use this word loosely, could also be a cop-out that I really don't want to talk to you
Yeah,
about this. Oh,
right.
I know I need to,
Yeah.
but I don't want to. So I just don't want to be a burden to
Yeah.
you. And so that gets me off of the hook.
No, that's really
Right.
good.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? So
really
it gets
good,
me off of the hook,
yes.
and now I don't have
Yeah.
to talk to you. And so I can go ahead and continue in my stuff.
Yeah.
But God calls, I believe, with all that I am, and equips people to be burden bearers. Now they got to take care of themselves too. That's a whole different
Yes.
ballgame.
Yeah.
But to walk alongside of people, to help them to be their best self. And so it is never a burden. Now you have to say, hey, Brett, I really need to talk to you. Are you free right now? Nisi, not right now, but give me about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever the case may be. So you have, if you can't, you can't.
Yeah.
But it's never a burden to help someone heal. It's never a burden to help someone unload. It's never a burden to help someone be their best self. And I believe the Lord calls us to that. And I think that you have to set boundaries and things like that, right?
Yes.
But I believe that you used the word earlier, community. That's what that's all about.
Yeah.
It's what it's all about. When you think about shame, like I love working with men. I just do. And men help me so much because they will just let me ask them questions. And so I feel like I can like be a little bit of an expert on men because they teach me.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing about men, and I'll just speak to that and then I'll speak to shame as a whole.
Sure.
The thing about men, and so you guys can call my hand if I'm wrong. The thing about men is that we rear boys. Gosh, from such a very young age. To be this, and to be this, and to be this, and to be this. And it's not to be a crybaby. It's not to be a pansy. It's not to show your feelings. It's not to do this, and it's not, do not share your feelings with people. You don't have feelings.
Yeah.
Because you're a guy.
Yeah.
Man up, be strong.
Man
Don't
up.
cry. Do this, do that. And then what we end up doing is we end up growing men who say they don't know how to feel.
Yeah.
Or I don't have feelings.
Yeah.
You do. Because one, you were created in the image of God, fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yeah.
Men do have feelings. But the thing that men want is a safe place. To just, I just like this word, is to just unload because they carry so much.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, I was listening to this on the way over, oftentimes when our men want to be vulnerable, unfortunately, we're not necessarily the best person for them. And what I mean by that, we as their wives are amazing. But if we say something out of turn when our men are trying to be vulnerable, they'll shut it off.
Yeah.
Like a spigot. And they won't be vulnerable again. They won't cry again. They won't share their feelings again. Yeah. But so for men is really getting them to a place where they know they can just be real.
Yeah.
That they can be who they need to be in that moment. And so one of the things I would always say is that my office is a safe place for you to be who you need to be. So if you need to be that little boy, then guess what? Let's have at it.
Yeah.
You know, if you need to be this, you need to be that, you need to cry tears, you need to just sit and well or whatever, then this will always be a safe place for you to do it because you must release that. I think that oftentimes women will release feelings and emotions much quicker than men will. And oftentimes it has to do with safety.
Yeah.
It could be that you mentioned a word, and we'll touch on that, is it could be that they've tried to and they've been shamed.
Yeah.
You know, and so with shame comes a label of you are the problem. You are this. You are that. And so when people are shamed, then it causes them to not only go internal, meaning you're not getting anything from me now, but it does damage. And so it goes to the core of their being. And so now that I'm not only feeling that, oh, Nisi's anxious, but now I'm going to a whole different place of being labeled
Right.
in a whole nother way as well. You're the problem, Nisi. It's not the stress of, am I going to have a job or am I not going to have a job?
Yeah.
You're the problem.
Right.
And so shame takes us to a whole different level, and it cuts to our being
It does.
of who we are,
Yeah.
or who we even thought we were. And so to help people thank you, Lord, to help people begin understanding who they are in Christ cuts to the mess, cuts to the stuff. The world says, maybe even some of the Christian community, unfortunately, says that you're this, you're that,
Right.
you're the problem, you're the issue. If you would do this, if you would do that, you wouldn't be dealing with all these kinds of things. So you're really the problem.
Well, and when you can reframe that identity and you've identified as I am this or I am that instead of, no, this is who God says I am.
Absolutely.
And, you know, with the shame and what you talked about earlier, when you talked about when you start to open up and then somebody doesn't receive you being vulnerable, the rejection in that moment is incredibly painful.
Yes.
Incredibly painful because you have just opened yourself wide open and then get rejected.
You have bared yourself.
Which is the fear all along.
That's the fear.
That when you open up, you're going to be rejected.
All along. You have just bared yourself and you were not received. And so not only does that do something in that moment, but depending on who you are and where you have been, it is like a movie playing so quick of everything you've ever suffered in your life. And I think that one of the things that helps us, Brett, is exactly what you said, is when we track and understand our identity in Christ, then it makes a big difference. It causes the shame to be wiped away because I understand who I am in Christ.
Yep.
I understand what he says about me. I understand what he has done for me. I understand that I'm chosen. And so as we begin seeing that, but you have to help people get to that place.
Well, and who's calling that out in your life? And,
Yes.
you know, who, and on the flip side of that, are we being the people with God, the ones that God has entrusted to us to call that out? And I think about that a lot with my kids is, you know, if I'm not going to call something out in them, somebody else is going to tell them.
You better believe it.
And they're not going to, they're not going to be the person who loves them.
Right. Right.
And
Ooh, that's a whole different ballgame. I tell daddies, can I say this? I tell daddies of girls, daddies, you make sure that you're telling those babies who they are and how beautiful they are and how cherished they are and on and on and on and on and on. Because if you don't, somebody else
will. And it's going to be somebody that doesn't love them and
not like daddy.
And, you know, I think that's as a position of in leadership or when somebody comes to you as a confidant, being able to sit back and think of what you can say to that person to show them their identity in Christ and to identify there because your shame is not who you are.
Right.
Your anxiety, like you've already said,
It's not my
depression is
label.
not
Yes.
who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And to watch, and you talked about this earlier, the testimonies
Yes.
of all of the people, young, old,
Wow.
that are struggling
Yes.
in mental health, and much more so than I ever saw it, even when I was growing up.
Yes.
And it's just
It's a lot.
it is a lot.
It's a lot, Brett. And not because I'm a therapist, but my heart is for us as a people. And I'm not even just talking about the Christian community, I'm talking about people as a whole. Let's care enough about each other that we will make sure we are okay. Whether it's our physical being, our spiritual being, or our mental health. Because one of the things that we say is that if we have a person who is sick, if I am sick, I'm going to go to the doctor.
Yep.
So if I hurt something, if I break something, if I do whatever, I'm not speaking any of that.
Yeah.
But, if it happens, I'm going to my doctor. But we're not willing to do the same thing when something happens
Yeah.
here. And I just wish we would be willing to do that. Because what we can do, and I've seen it so much, is sometimes people just need us to come alongside of them. And if we would be willing to do that, and even, this sounds crazy, but even just give permission. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Like you see some stuff that says it's okay to have Jesus and a therapist,
Yeah.
right? Well, I believe that's true. I believe that's accurate.
Yeah.
And you want to be careful who you go see, but I
Yes, you
believe
do.
it's pretty accurate, right? But if we would just say to people, and let's go to your young people for a minute, if we would just say to them, listen, it's okay. It's okay to get help. It's okay to talk to somebody. It's okay to have somebody walk alongside of you. It's okay to do that. Then I believe, you mentioned the word earlier, stigma. If we would take the stigma off of mental health, then I believe we would see a greater healing and wholeness among our people. Now, I believe you have to be careful. I absolutely trust my therapist. She's a believer. She walks it. She counsels me from a biblical perspective as well as a therapeutic perspective. And I trust her. And so we have to go to trusted people. We have to seek out trusted people. But I believe if we would just give our folks permission to do that, we would see a change. I believe it with all that I am.
That is so good. And speaking up about it, you can talk about it all you want to, but if you're not going to be about it and help people get there,
Yes.
then we can talk about mental health all the live long day. It goes back to that first step.
Taking that step.
And are you going to be the person in somebody's life that says you got to take it, and you know what, like, I will go with you, or let's find somebody. You go, I go.
Yes.
Yes.
And I tell people, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'll get you to your cup of tea.
Right.
I will get you there. And I will make sure. I'm not going to send you any place I wouldn't go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. And therapy is not forever. Let's get you to a good place.
Yeah.
Let's get you stabilized.
Yeah.
Because if I'm like this in my emotions,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're really big, then let's get you here. Then go on your way.
Yeah.
Let's give you the tools.
The tools.
Let's
Yep.
give you the word. Let's give you that time. Let's give you that journal.
Yeah.
Get you to a place where you are stable. And then go on. Go with life. Go to college. Go to class. Go wherever you're going. So
So
let's get you stable.
where do you go in the Word when you are feeling overwhelmed and anxious? Where do you go?
I'll tell you when it happened too. My favorite verse for anxiety is Philippians 4, 6, and 7. It says, be anxious for nothing, but in all things, through prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, make your requests be made known to God. And this is the peace that rocked me one day, Brett. Then it goes on to say, and the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your heart and it will guard your mind. Because what happens with anxiety is your heart and your mind. And it begins with a thought. Have a thought that they don't like me. They don't want me around. I'm not enough. I'm not lovable. I'm not whatever. And it makes its way into the heart.
Yeah.
And then it's back and forth. It's like ping pong. It's back and forth from the heart to the head, heart to the head, heart to the head. But Philippians says, and the peace of God that passes all understanding will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus.
That's so good.
And so I'll tell you where it hit me like a ton of bricks. Because sometimes we can speak the word, and we speak the word, and we believe it with all that we are. But then there's that moment when you speak the word, and God meets you right in that word. I was doing a class that's called Grief Share. I was facilitating it. And we were talking. And one of the participants said something about anxiety. I said, let's go to the Word. And we went to the Word. And as we went there and we were looking at it and we were just breaking it down a little bit, we got to the piece where it says, and God's peace. And it was as if the Lord just tapped and tapped and tapped. He said, Nisi, it's my peace. It's not yours. It's not the world's. It's not the situation. It's my peace. And that's been years ago. That verse for me then, Brett, took on a whole different meaning. A whole different meaning. So when we sit with people with anxiety, we break it down. Be anxious for nothing. What does that mean? And we break it down. And as you begin breaking it down and you talk about anxiety, then you begin going to the root of anxiety, which is fear. Fear, and I'm going to use the language I use, okay? Fear is the big daddy. That's the word I use. Fear is the big daddy of anxiety. Anxiety comes because of fear. So if you think about a root, and this is how I like to describe it, if you think about a tree lives or dies according to the roots. And so if I have a root of fear, then it's going to kill that tree.
Yeah.
And it's going to kill it because fear will kill you. Not literally, but it will kill you. And so the longer I allow the fear to grow, the more all that the Lord has done for me, all that He has called me to. If we use a tree, an apple tree, they're going to die.
Yeah.
The apples are going to die because the fear will suck the life out of it, which is what fear does to us. It sucks the life. It sucks the joy.
Yeah.
It sucks all of the things that the Lord said, Nisi, I've come to give you abundant life.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not living an abundant life. Not because he's not giving it to me, but because I've allowed fear to step in. So fear is the bigness, if you will, of anxiety.
Oh, that's good.
It's the bigness of worry. We worry out of fear. And so then what happens is we're not thinking fear. We're thinking anxiety. We're thinking worry. And then if you bring it all together with Father, it's a lack of trust.
Yeah.
And so we're fearful. We're not trusting. Therefore, we become anxious, worried, and so on.
Yeah.
And then we find ourselves in a situation where we're showing up in the emergency room,
Yeah.
or we're showing up in the doctor's office, or, unfortunately, we're beginning to take things, substances, medicines that are not ours,
Yeah.
and so on and so on.
Well, then,
Because of all of that.
and when you talk about fear, and it takes you to the emergency room, it puts all of these feelings inside of you.
Yes.
It also steals what the Lord has for you.
Yes.
Because if you are too afraid to take the steps that he's asking you to take, and I'm only saying this from experience. I've lived this
Yes.
often.
Yes.
The fear of stepping out and doing what the Lord is calling you to do with the
Yes.
giftings that he's given you.
Yes.
And, I even look back and at my life, I let a perceived failure 12, 13 years ago, what I felt like I failed the Lord,
Yes.
steal 13 years
Mm-hmm.
of,
Mm-hmm.
and the Lord can redeem,
Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
and you can start to walk in what the Lord has called you to walk in, and you have to battle to not go back to, man, for 13 years, what did I miss?
Because you'll beat yourself up.
You will, and I absolutely let that fear control me, and I still battle with this every single day of like being scared to take that next step.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like I'm not good enough, or there's no way I'll be successful. And part of that is I want it to be right the first time.
Yes.
Never in my life have I been good at something the first time I did it, but I still want to be right, and I want to be the
Right.
best the first time I
Right.
do it. So stepping out and taking that first step, so incredibly scary.
Very.
And if you let it, that fear will consume every bit of what the Lord wants to do with you.
It will paralyze you.
Mm-hmm.
Fear will paralyze you
Yes.
that you won't move at all.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that the Lord is calling you, knowing that the Lord is saying, come on, I need you to do this. I
Yeah.
want you to do this. I got this for you. I've equipped you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It will paralyze you, and it will cause you to be disobedient.
Yeah.
One of the things I was going to say to you, Brett, is that with people, and I think this is probably people of all ages, but especially your people, your age group, is I am mindful when I'm walking with someone, I am mindful to give them space and place to just share their heart.
Yeah.
And I won't say, if I know they're a believer, because not everybody that comes to me is a believer.
Mm-hmm.
So if I know they're a believer, but I'll ask anyway, we're going to start off in prayer.
Yeah.
But that's all you're going to hear from me about Father until I've given them time to share their heart. Because if I bombard them with the Word of God, and I love it, but not everybody's ready to hear Philippians.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nisi, that might be good for you,
Right.
but you don't know where I'm at. Well, I want to know where you're at.
Right.
so that I can then help you and guide you to get to that place in Philippians. So one of the things I encourage, especially as you're with your people, your young people, is making sure, and people that come to you, is making sure that they are able to share their heart. I mean, of course, I know, be Holy Spirit led.
Right,
That's the
right.
bottom line. Be Holy Spirit
Yeah,
led. And if Daddy says share that word, then share that word.
yeah,
But giving them opportunity just to share where they are, because then it gives you a better picture of what's going on with them, and so then you know how to minister to them.
yeah. No, that's really good. And there's been so much here, so much good content, good encouragement.
Yeah.
If there is one thing that you don't want to leave this room without saying to the people that will be watching this,
Mm-hmm.
what would that be?
Mm. This just dropped for me. That you do not have to walk your journey alone.
That's so good.
You don't have to do it. You don't have to wear your mask.
Mm,
You don't have to hide. You don't have to walk in shame.
yeah,
Because in a world of all people, and what I mean by that, we have the church, we have, the world, there are people who love people so much, and they just want them to be healed,
yeah,
set free, and delivered.
yes, yes,
And that's all they want. Because they understand that when that happens to that person, then they're going to be in a position to go help the next, and go help the next, and go help the next. And so it would be that you don't have to walk this journey alone.
yeah. That's good. That's good. Get the freedom.
Get the freedom. Galatians 5:1 says, Nisi's paraphrase, freedom is the reason that Jesus Christ went to the cross. Get it. Because it's yours for the receiving.
Yes.
And that is so true.
Amen.
And it's freedom, Brett, of wherever it is that you are. Maybe it's freedom from shame.
Yeah.
Maybe it's freedom from addiction. Maybe it's freedom from this, freedom from that. But it is freedom. And that's why he went to the cross.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I really appreciate you being here. This has been fantastic. So thank you so much for coming here, for pouring out into whoever is going to see this video,
Right?
and spend time with us. I have learned a lot, and there is a refreshing in all of this
Yeah.
that I hope will set in on those that hear.
Yes.
So
And what I would say to you and to your beautiful bride, because you're working with them, is may Father place the two of you so deeply into the lives of the people you're working with that they will understand how much the two of you love them. That they will say, I need help.
yeah,
I need prayer.
yeah,
I need just someone to talk to. I need whatever. And my heart is that you will never again feel that you cannot not do what the Lord has called you to do.
Thank you.
That you will never again feel like a failure. That you will walk heavy in the anointing and the calling that is on your life, that's on your wife's life, together. And many people will be healed because you guys said yes.
Thank you. Thank you. That is it's a big word, and I receive it. And we are incredibly grateful for you.
Yes.
You know, and I know my wife is. She is just
It's precious.
she loves you so much,
She's
and just
precious.
sings your praises. And so, you know, we are grateful. Our whole family is grateful for you, for what you do, and for you pouring out.
Yes.
And you know, anybody that is watching this now, if you need somebody to talk to, if you need somebody to help you take that first step,
Yes.
reach out.
Yes.
Look around you. There are people that are there that are just waiting to help
Yes.
and to put you in contact with the right people. If it's not them, and find those people in your inner circle who you can really trust.
Yes.
So again, thank you.
Thank you so
And
much.
it's been a good time. So
It's been
awesome.
great.
It
Yes.
has.
Thank you for the